Hello, hello, this is Fear Dragon coming at you with another StarCraft 2 netcast. Today we have a Protoss versus Protoss from the IEM Singapore round of 16, so let's go ahead and jump in and introduce these players as this is game number 1. Spawning down here in the bottom left-hand corner of Antiga Shipyard, we have the blue Protoss player representing no team other than his own. It is going to be Grubby's Grubby. He is a very strong foreigner Protoss player and is definitely one of the fan favorites. We're going to see how he does in this Protoss versus Protoss against his opponent. Spawning over here in the top right-hand corner of Antiga Shipyard is the red Protoss player representing Team Light. It is going to be Light's Stardust. And Stardust is in fact a Korean Protoss, like I said, representing Team Light, and I'm really curious to see how he's going to do this. He has really just not had a huge breakout performance or anything. I mean, he is just another one of those Korean Protosses. We haven't seen him win any big tournaments or anything, so I'm really curious to see how he's going to end up playing this out. Hopefully you guys enjoyed that little introduction. I'm trying to mess around with the camera angles, but unfortunately not everyone can be StarTale Legend, but I will do my best to see what I can do in that regard. But in the meanwhile, with this Protoss versus Protoss getting started, I just want to address the map choice actually that this first game is going to be played on. And the fact that Antiga Shipyard for a Protoss versus Protoss was picked is going to be really interesting just because this map is so unbelievably strong for Blink Stalker play, and that has a lot to do with just the fact that there is so much space over here along this ridge where Blink Stalkers can pop up into the main, do a little bit of damage, and then blink out because, of course, Protoss players have to keep their armies over at the ramps, and they cannot actually afford to easily pull back to defend over in the back main of their base while also defending their ramps. So it's going to be cool to see what kind of play these players will do, but I feel like Blink Stalker play is definitely going to be the strongest. Now, in the meanwhile, we do have two gas guys already taken for Stardust. He's going to go ahead and pop all three guys into those two gas guys. No, okay, yeah, now he has all three gas geysers, or all three guys mining those gas geysers. In the meanwhile, Grubby gonna get a slightly more delayed gas, and I have to say that this gas, it's a bit more delayed, but honestly it seems like a bit more of a normal timing to me. So I think that Stardust might be doing something kind of interesting in this game. I'm really just going to be waiting to see what he's planning, and probably going to be something slightly more tech heavy. We could see Dark Templar, or we could even just see some kind of Stargate play. I don't actually like the idea of Stargate play on this map just because again, it's so strong for Blink Stalkers, and Stargate plays tends to struggle a teeny bit against Blink Stalker. In the meanwhile, we have a 3 Stalker rush coming out of Grubby. This is a really nice way that you can secure a little bit of that map control, especially delaying things like a 4-gate rush and just making sure that you will have some good idea of what your opponent is up to. In the meanwhile, Stardust is basically getting a money scout off in terms of seeing, okay, my opponent is taking the second gas geyser, where's the chrono boost at and such. And we actually see a bit of that chrono boost being saved up for Grubby, so if he does decide to go for this 3 Stalker rush, as I mean, he has his first Stalker out, could start producing those other 2 Stalkers relatively soon. But the important thing about that 3 Stalker rush is that it'll actually go really well into Blink Stalker play, as we actually see a Twilight Council coming out. And here's actually, we see the Stargate coming out from Stardust. As I was mentioning before, he got that earlier gas geyser, so this is going to be a really interesting decision, but I'm not sure how well this is going to work out for him. And ooh, look at this scouting path from Grubby. He's actually going to see this proxy pylon just fine. That's going to be a really big win. We're going to have to wait and see. It looks like he's on an attack move, so he should actually be able to take out this probe, as well as, yes, he will end up seeing that and should be able to get one more shot off. There we go, and that's a really nice win for Grubby, especially since he's still going to continue to scout out that proxy pylon. In the meanwhile, we see Stardust is going to be gearing up to move out with this small little force of 2 sentries and 2 zealots, and he should be able to do a little bit of poking at least, but the main idea is he wants to get up those 3 Phoenix and just continue and get a good little warp in over here at this proxy pylon. But look at this, Grubby has his 3 Stalkers out. He's going to take out this pylon. This could actually delay Stardust's push by quite a bit. We see that the probe is trying to move out over there to the other side of the map, and he's going to plant a pylon down the center of the map. But look at this, Grubby's planting down a pylon of his own. Has he started? No, he hasn't started Blink. Oh my god, he's going for a Dark Shrine, in fact. So this is going to be a really interesting play, just because that's going to put a timer on Stardust's play. And we actually see the Stalker poking him. He sees that the Phoenix are over there, and he actually managed to get out well in the skin of his teeth. So he's going to go ahead and retreat. He needs to get home so that he can try and defend against this push, as I mean, this could be a very scary push, but the fortunate thing for Grubby is I was able to take out that proxy pylon, so that does delay Stardust's push by quite a substantial bit. And oh my god, what is this? We see a pylon going down for Grubby, and I think Stardust actually is reacting to this because he's pulling back a ton of his units. And actually, this probe over here, just sitting over in the middle of Grubby's base, Grubby needs to deal with that, so make sure proxy pylons don't go down for his own. And oh my god, we actually see pylons going down all across the main base, and the Dark Templar have already been warped in. They're going to make their way straight into the main, but look at this, a great force field. Do we end up seeing any? No, it looks like this pylon does belong to Grubby, so that means that Grubby will have the potential to warp in to the main base. We have another, no, just like another pylon coming down from the Stardust, but that force field does wear off, and finally a nice warping of that Dark Templar comes out from Grubby. He also can warp in over here. Here's another Dark Templar, and I feel like Stardust is in a ton of trouble. He's getting out that robotic facility, but the shields are already gone, and with these two Dark Templars, he should be able to focus this down, and I don't know if Stardust is going to have a chance in this game after that robotic facility goes down. There's going to be the GG coming out from Stardust, and Grubby is going to take game number 1 pretty convincingly. I mean, I have to say, it had a little bit to do with some of that build order luck, but also some fabulous play, scouting out that proxy pylon, delaying that push. If he had not delayed that push, he might not have had the opportunity to get that Zealot warp-in round that he could have sent over, and had the opportunity to get that probe out on the middle of the map to plant down pylons everywhere. And I have to say, that was just an ingenious play. You know what? If your opponent's army is on the other side of the map, and they are going for that Stargate heavy play, they can warp in units, yeah, but I mean, he knows that there were just units warped in over here to be aggressive. So why not just plant down a bunch of pylons? What are they going to do about it? It's going to take them forever to kill off 4 or 5 pylons. So anyways, with that being said, we're going to hop into game number 2 and see whether or not Grubby is going to be able to close this out with a 3-0 victory, or if Stardust is going to bring this back in game number 2. And of course, I say 3-0 victory, but I mean, Grubby hasn't even gotten 2 wins yet, so anything could happen. I'll see you guys in game number 2.